Today we're going to work largely on lapel chokes, and we might get time for a couple of belt chokes. Okay. Joel, grab a partner. Show us your favorite lapel choke. Okay. Remember, guys, lapel chokes can be from virtually any position. You do have to have some sort of clothing on. Probably t-shirt's not the best way to do a lapel choke, but if that's all you have, you grab enough of it, it could work. Go ahead. All right, he digs deep, both hands on the same lapel. This makes loop choke. Good job. Again, walk him through it. Step one, he makes the grip. Step two, he puts his head on the mat, loops his hand under the head. Then he comes up. Then he's going to pull with the left and cut with the right. Questions on loop choke?
He's keeping a higher grip when he does that.
Believe it or not, in my opinion, the grip can be all the way to the mat. Like he can put his fist all the way to the mat if he wants, or he can be a little bit higher, but he just has to have space to stick that head in between.
Yes, sir.
However you do that, in my opinion, is really pretty good. Mr. Fowler does it a little differently than I do it, but that doesn't mean that his way won't work. My, guys, honestly, my feeling on any technique is, can you fight with it? If you can fight with it, who am I to say that it's just not a good technique? I might look at it and go, well, that's different than how I do it. But if I see Joel tap 2-3 people out with it, I'm like, well, I mean, it is what it is, okay? So again, you gotta feel what's gonna work for you, okay? Any questions on loop choke? Get with your partner, quickly. It's gonna help me out.
Yes, sir.
I don't see your friend who was working with you today. She didn't wanna come?
She didn't want to come. I was like,
All right. He's not going to just give me this, okay? So I might just be working him, right? Joel grabbed about right here, okay? If I start this, I can set this hand if I want and try to do some other things. I can start working this way, and I can start looking for an opportunity to set the hands. The bottom line is once I get the hand how I want it, this is the setting hand. I can control him here. I can get up, I can pull his head up this way. Then I can go back and I can pull here. Now you might notice this is already pulling, uncomfortable. This holds and I pull with my lat muscle this way, taking out all the space. I keep my wrist straight. And then I do this, he might tap. But when I do my weight, he's gonna tap. I'm literally doing that. Does that make sense? All right, so again, a lot of ways I can do this. I can pull him up and loop ups. Let's try again. Pull him up and loop his head this way. I can hold it here, hold, head down, come back up this way. Either one of those entries is just fine. Does that make sense?
sir.
If he stands up and we're in a throwing position, if he has the desire to get low, like he's going to try to go for a seatbelt takedown, he moves that way to grab. I already got him. Does that make sense?
Sir.
So if he thinks he can duck, I've got this, he thinks he can duck under, all I gotta do is grab, take up the slack, and I've got this. By the way, I can throw here, or I can turn and I can throw here. Either one of those will work. But this loop choke is pretty handy. One more time on the ground.
Sir.
So keep in mind that the loop choke is a long technique. It takes a second to set it up. It's sneaky. He doesn't necessarily know what I'm doing until I'm into it. But I could just set it up this way. It's no longer called loop choke. Loop choke, it's called paper cutter if you just start on this side. So I now no longer have to do this, right? I just start here. I pin this to the ground, right? Maybe I'm thinking I'm gonna go for an arm bar, right? Once I get here, pull out the slack, drop. Cut the head off just like paper cutter. Everybody seen a paper cutter in school? That's why they call it paper cutter. Does it make sense?
Sir.
So paper cutter is a shortcut for loop choke. All right? 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 You can do it from the guard, you can do it from the mount. You can do it from side control as well. I won't show that right now. Pick your next choke. Rickson Gracie's favorite choke is his cross choke. Rickson Gracie put a lot of people to sleep with this one. It's not just paper cutter, and this. You want to get that grip, and you want to pull the hands this way. Guys see that manipulation? If you hold it like this and you just push the elbows this way, it usually will work. But if you start here with the wrists bent and you bend the wrists completely the other way, you take out all that slack. Make sense? And he's going to want to drive with his feet and push the hands into the neck. So he's going to set the first hand, set the second hand. Now he's going to get his elbows on Alex's chest, push his head forward, and then drive with his feet. There he goes. He's choking him nicely. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Questions on cross choke? All right, if he gets cross choke and Alex bridges and he holds the cross choke, he can now pull Alex in with his feet and make cross choke from the guard as well. Get ready. Grab your partner. Cross choke.
Yeah.
All right, he's starting from a back position. Starts with double underhooks. He reaches across. Makes single wing choke. All right, let's look at this. First thing is he has to immobilize Lyndon in order to start before he even thinks about the choke, he wants to control Lyndon's body. Maybe he tires him out while Lyndon's struggling. Then he's going to feed, he's going to open up with his left hand, feed with the right hand. See how he opens that up? Then he doesn't go straight up. He needs to go slightly out behind the head. That lifts the elbow. That is keeping Lyndon from turning out and escaping, okay? Then he cuts like a knife. He pulls this in a circular fashion and he pushes the forearm forward. Questions? All right. Make sure that you get this set deep. This hand goes under the armpit. My hand should be up high, right? Behind the head, and then you push and cut. Give it a try. Just like this. So the referee position is a position that a lot of people are going to end up in while they're trying to recover. If I move in to make a choke, a lot of people are going to go into a turtle position. They'll try to tuck his head a little bit, and so on and so forth. The great thing about the same choke that we just did is you can do from this position. So I'm here, I'm fixing to work him, right? He feels me starting to dig, he goes into turtle position. No problem, I've already set this hand. All I gotta do is get this hand here, right? But there's really not enough room. He's not gonna let me do it. So I'm gonna make a roll. Watch what happens when I roll. I pull him into the choke this way, and then I make the choke. And roll off the dead body, right? Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
So there's an option for you there. Otherwise, how you get into the choke is usually from the back. So referee position or fully taking the back. Okay. Joel.
Sure.
Let's see. Caitlin. All right, this is a fun one. This one's called punch choke. So again, why do you think you call it punch choke? She kind of grabs the one lapel and then she just punches with the other one across and tries to stick her fist on the ground. This one is what I would consider the easiest to quickly set up and just do, but you got to be determined on it, okay? Because the escape is either to bridge or just to block. If you know the escape at all, this one becomes very difficult to do. So let's see it again. She sets, remember, now usually where both hands are this way or both hands are this way, right? One hand is pulling and the other hand is punching. So it's kind of this way. And she takes up the slack with the left hand, pulls hard, and pushes with the right hand, drives with her weight. Get a partner quickly. Any part of your uniform or their uniform can be used for a choking device, right? So, I can make paper cutter. I can make loop choke. I can make cross choke, okay? I can make punch choke, right? All those things are totally legit. I can make modified Ezekiel choke, okay? I can make belt choke. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
I can use my own lapel and make the choke this way. Okay? It's just really how creative that you want to be. Nope, I grabbed his. There's mine. All of those things will work. Okay? Does that make sense? It's really, you're only limited by your creativity. There's a lot more we don't have time to show. But I really wanted you guys to just see that if you're kind of creative, people just kind of give you stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm here trying to do rear naked choke. He does low escape. He gets low on me. Now I can't really choke him. But look at here. Right? So this choke doesn't work well because he's so low. I might be able to get him, but his chance of escape is high. Now I got him. Right? I can grab here, spin him to this position, make a modified bow and arrow choke. Make sense? All right, questions on lapel chokes or belt chokes, creative chokes of all kinds. So the judo players have two types of gis. Come here, Superman. This is the single weave. I was thinking this was my double weave. The double weave is twice as thick and heavy. When I grab it, you can't even ball it up. See how I can make a fist? It doesn't move. It's just like, because it's so thick and so hard. It's armor against being choked. So they make uniforms particularly so that it's hard to choke people with it. Thanks, sir. The bottom line is in Jiu-Jitsu, we want a flexible and light gi so we don't get too hot, right? Because we fight for long periods of time. Judo, one throw, match is over. One throw, one armbar, match is over. One throw, scramble, ref stops it, people stand back up. They're not really fighting for a long period of time in most cases, okay? They can probably stand all that extra body heat. On your feet. We must fight! Grab a partner! Like that attempt, looking good. Great into the ground, great into the ground. Good job.
My weight is more over here. I'm way down here. Leg in, like just pull it. Try to get all this here, that bottom here, that poop. And now I'll be this way. Now, I'm good with this.
Love it. Looking good, man. Jimmy produces a lot of body heat that he's got. Pull him in, really good. Not gonna hook his leg. Get back to the floor. There you go. Hold the top position, we're ready. Arm off of your choke. Your position is bad, Taylor. That's why it's not working. Arch your back, don't turn. Arch.
I push.
Take that on.
Arch. Adrian, arch.
That makes the hips.
Come on, work.
Was it even or was it?
There you go.
Oh, death grip.
The
legs.
Ready? Come on, let's go. Good job, Chris.
No, I'm afraid, okay, Glenn.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Control. You got the leg, just sit back. You got it. If you want it.
Got it, Sophie. Keep digging. Keep digging.
All right, hold it. Lock the hands. Get the hand position. I think Scott's gonna take a nap with that one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
God.